Mahendra Doresamy has just arrived in Johannesburg from Montreal, Canada, with his 3 children. But it's been the longest journey he's ever made to South Africa, and here's why. Upon arrival in Amsterdam, he was told he needed a signed copy of an affidavit from his wife with a copy of her passport. So a trip of several hours back to Montreal and then to Amsterdam again, and a few more hours waiting for the South African flight.
We left Montreal coming to Amsterdam, and 5 minutes before getting to the gate, because the entire journey was okay till then, getting to the gate 5 minutes before, they put all the parents with kids, because you had to have a birth certificate and all the required documents. I had all the documents, but the security guard at the custom officer at that gate was asking me for a document of my wife's, because now they want proof of the names on the letter of consent.
Doresamy was confident that he had all the required documents, but he claims the rules were different from when he last checked.
So they totally rejected, they didn't want to do anything with that. So I went to KLM, tried to sort out that, and they phoned the Canadian embassy to see if she could fax a copy to us so we could, show, and they refused a fax copy as well.
The 4-day ordeal cost Doresamy thousands more than he had budgeted for.
I had to fly, all four of us had to fly back to Canada, get another document, and because of my ticket being cancelled, I had to buy an additional ticket to get back to South Africa, but I had to go through Paris. So I had to spend $685 per person, a new ticket, because once you fly in and once you fly out, that ticket is cancelled. So my tickets for South Africa were still okay, but ticket from Europe to Montreal was cancelled now.
But Home Affairs insists that travellers with children, like in the case of Doresamy, must be compliant because of child safety concerns. Stakeholders acknowledge that the revised regulations are in the interest of combating child trafficking, but they disagree with the cumbersome process and the actual number of trafficking cases put forward by government.
We first have to acknowledge that there are no figures. I just think a mediocre research and consultation, I guess, with civil society, law enforcement, other stakeholders, would have revealed that the methodologies that were used to arrive at this 30,000 statistics was fundamentally flawed. There's much has been written on it. There's recent 2013, 2014 studies that's been done about this 30,000 statistic. So I think it's flawed, it's not credible, and I think those statistics is often used by people in civil society and activists, to raise awareness on this issue.
At the heart is the damaging effect the rules are apparently having on the tourism industry and in turn the economy.
The focus should be rather on the documentation, which many times appears very legit, but are fundamentally flawed and fraudulently obtained. So I think that the focus should be on those coalface officials at the ports of entry, your law enforcement officials, immigration, customs, police officials, to ask the right questions.
Educate the guys that are at the desk, because those people that you're giving the information to that are looking at the paperwork must know what they're looking at. If they don't know what they're looking at, because one of the guys was even asking me, my son was born in 2005 in September, and he's looking at date of issue on the 12th of December. He's asking me, why is it outdated like that?
The Doresamys say their experience leads them to believe that there's a need for the Department of Home Affairs to be consistent with their rules and raise their training initiatives for officials. Collen Lemawane, SABC News, Johannesburg.